Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Aqua experience. I'm super pumped to have a chat with Pam from Punchie Paints, or formerly 54 Punchy. Not only do I have a few questions about sort of where it all began again, as this sort of the theme with this series, but I get along really well with Pam, so I'm just happy to have a chat for an hour or so. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you've got questions at any stage, let us know. But yeah, enjoy the stream. There is a bit of a surprise coming towards the end. A surprise that has been a year in the mail. I was trying to think, a year in the making, but it was a year in the mail, which is insane. So let's just cut the crap and let's say hello to Pam.
Hello.
Good evening.
I gotta remember to hold my head still.
Pam was worried about the light from behind her. You look kind of godly, like there's a halo.
Yeah.
But I know you, and that definitely wouldn't be the case.
Well, shit.
So there will be no ads on this stream either. You're
watching. One of my favorite photographs of my son was taken when one of my daughters took it when she was up visiting him. And he's sitting at his desk, right? And he's got his arms spread out talking. And right behind him on the wall is like a gold round plaque thing. And it makes like a perfect, like the paintings of the halo, you know?
That's a yes, your granny saying that's the holy light.
It's the holy light, yes.
I'll just quickly say hello, Kiwi. How you going? Aquatics, Bodgy. I've finally seen Aqua live stream. You're up early enough. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. James, Fish Room Fever, how are you? And yes, long time no see, Jess. How are you?
Jess says I kidnapped an angel.
Kidnapped an angel.
Well, I like to say that, I like to tell people that I have the heart of an innocent child. I do. I keep it in a jar on my desk.
I knew something was coming. Your Facebook posts, I probably see 2 or 3 Facebook posts from you each day, and they all crack me up. All right, so generally with this series, we sort of different every episode, and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are. Hashtag wash hands, okay? Oh, I don't get to see that because I'm in the wrong thing. But hello, Nick. How are you? Matty D. So tell me, where did it all begin for you? When you started catching fish, how long ago was it? And what made you get into the hobby?
Oh my gosh. The first fish tank I had, I was about 13 years old. And back then there was no child labor laws. So starting from kindergarten, I would go out in the strawberry fields every summer and pick berries and make money. And I'd buy my own school clothes and stuff. And they paid you, like by the flat, which is like 12 small boxes of strawberries. At the time, it was like, I think when I quit, it was like 50 cents a flat. But anyway, I'd make my own money and stuff. And they had like a school bus that the owner of the berry field would hire to drive around and pick up all the kids every day. But anyway, I was walking home one day and there was a fish store in town. And I stopped in there and bought a 10-gallon tank. And got it set up and did the usual thing with, the Noah's Ark thing where you buy 2 of everything.
Yes.
That was, yeah. And back then also there wasn't as many choices in kinds of fish. Because we're talking, I'm 65 and that was when I was 13. So that was a few years ago. Just a few.
That's one thing that I found. I've been keeping fish since I was younger, so about 20, 25 years. And it's so interesting to see. I think of a fish store back then compared to now. They are way different, aren't they?
Yeah, it was a lot different than I still remember how the fish store smelled when you walked in. It had old wooden floors and then all the fish, and especially when I see neons, I can smell that old fish store because that was a kind of a staple back then was the neons. And I remember I got platies, and I had, like I said, I had a couple of it, all kinds of stuff. And then I got this black molly, and I put it in my tank. And the next morning I woke up and all my fish had ick. So I went to the fish store, and fish medication has changed a lot too. Back then you could get methylene blue or that melachite green stuff, and that was it. So I got methylene blue I got the melachite green because that's what the fish store lady told me to get. And I measured it and put it in and stuff. And within 2 days, everything in the tank was dead, except for that damn black molly.
That's crazy. So when you said you worked hard, you saved up to buy your first tank, was it like, I'm going to save up and buy that first tank? Or was it sort of an impulse thing going, I've got some money, oh, this looks cool, I'm going to get one of these?
Yeah, I just it was an impulse thing. It was one of the old tanks that had the metal rim and stuff. And then it had a heater and a box filter, which I hated that damn box filter with a passion. And they seem to be coming back now, and I will never, ever, ever buy one because they totally stink. I hate them with a passion. And people are, oh, they're so great. I'm like, oh my God, no.
It's actually just going back to when you said when you see neons, you can sort of smell that humid fish store sort of smell. I found it really interesting when I 3 months ago set up a fish tank for Harry, and I ran the air pump on a sponge filter in there for him. And my wife was like, it's a little bit noisy, isn't it? And I was like, no, I don't know. It takes me back to my childhood. When my first fish tank, the thing you could see with the bubbles on in here, that air pump. And I don't know, straight away when I hear an air pump, they're annoying, but I go, I remember my first fish tank.
Yeah.
It's cool how that happens.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything, and there was no internet, so I think I checked out every book. I lived in a small town. There wasn't a big library, but I know I checked out every book in the library and read it on fish, which didn't really tell you a lot.
Yeah.
And I'd say there was no internet to look stuff up, and I didn't know anything about cycling a tank. And I remember like once a week I'd like take the fish and take everything out of there and wash everything off and put it back again. And I didn't bleach anything, but I did wash everything off. And one of my first lessons, I remember I had it was in my bedroom, and I had hardwood floors, and I was cleaning out the fish tank, had the fish in a bucket, and I heard something like making a crackling noise. And I looked down, I had forgot to unplug the heater, and it was laying on the hardwood floor. And so I grabbed it real quick in a panic and stuck it into the fish tank, and it promptly shattered into a million pieces. With glass all over the fish tank. So that was one lesson learned. And,
it's definitely a hobby that kicks you in the butt sometimes.
Yeah. And then I remember one time, one of my mom's friends' daughters won a goldfish at the fair, so they had to give it to me for my tank, which I didn't really even want the damn thing, but it lived for years. But I got home from school one day, and it was laying on the floor. It had jumped out, and it was totally dry. And when I peeled it up off the floor, it left all the scales on one side, from the one side, were left on the floor, so I had to scrape them off too. But I peeled it off the floor and went into the bathroom to give it a burial at sea, and I threw that goldfish in the toilet, and it came back to life.
Oh.
In the toilet. So I had to scoop it out and go throw it back in the tank. One thing that I ended up with that tank after, a couple years of messing around, when I was like 17 or 18, I ended up with a pair of black veil angelfish, and that's all I had in the tank, and they were extremely gorgeous. And I had them for quite a while. I used to go out with a fishing net, and I grew up in Oregon. It rains a lot there, so I'd go out with a fishing net and scoop up mosquito larvae out of the mud puddles that were in front of the house after it rained.
Yep.
And I'd feed those to the angelfish, and their bellies would get so big they'd be going like down like that, then there'd be a bloop and then down again. But they did really like those mosquito larvae. But yeah, like I say, most of it back then you had to kind of learn on your own because there was no information to be found that was really any good.
I remember, I had a book, like I don't know, it's full. I still have the book. That's why I just ran over there to see if it was there to show you. But this old book falling apart, and I reckon I read up to about the same page about 10 times. I was just obsessed with White Cloud. That's when I first got them. But
Yeah.
you couldn't just jump on and Google, all right, what's this fish? How do you do this?
No, there wasn't. Well, but when I started, there was no internet at all. So there was like computers. If you talked about computers at all, you were talking about like a whole room full of big machinery.
Yes.
That was what the computers were back then when I was a kid. So
I'll just quickly say a whole bunch of people have jumped in while we're talking. So Ian Atkins, welcome. Dan Lee, Streetwise, Craig, Alice, Maria, Amber, Chubby Guppy, Ugly Man, Joseph, everybody, Scott Scotty. I think I've got everyone there. There's a couple of comments in here asking if you've eaten the Vegemite yet. So that at the start of the stream, I mentioned that something was about a year in the making or in the mail. Later on in the stream, Pam is going to try a Vegemite that I sent her
a year ago.
And it only how crazy is that? I got the stickers too. That's it. But yeah, I sent a whole bunch out like about a year ago, and she just gave up and went, "Yeah, no, it's got lost." But
Yeah, I just got them. I don't have a clue, but I do have it now. So, and I was originally I had bought because I knew they were coming, and I bought like a cookie cutter shaped like a kangaroo, and I was gonna like make kangaroo biscuits and make a video, but I don't even know where that is now. Now I don't really even have any bread in the house, so I'm gonna stick it on a warmed up tortilla in a little while. But you have somebody else that's joining us in a little while.
Who is?
I said, is there somebody else joining us in a little while?
No.
Oh, okay, because I thought I saw someone at the beginning of the stream saying that they were.
No, Dad, as in, he's busy. He'll be in the chat.
Oh, okay. But here in a little while, I'll go heat up a tortilla and all that stuff.
He's a big fan of your artwork, so I'm sure he will watch the whole episode where normally he watches, says hello, and then leaves.
Maria says she's doing the sign of the cross for me.
Well, we'll do it in about half an hour, but yes, it's completely normal. Harry does that every now and then. He'll just have butter and Vegemite on a tortilla or a wrap, and he'll just have 3 or 4 of those as a snack because he eats lots when he cooks snacks.
So then it shouldn't kill me because, like I said, I'm not a big bread eater unless it's homemade bread. Then I'll eat it because I used to make bread all the time. But at store-bought bread, I just don't eat. So, but I usually have tortillas. So, and I make everything that normal people would put on a sandwich. I wrap up in a tortilla.
James says Pam will probably think it tastes sweet. Alice says we are here for you, Pam, and Josh. Oh, yes. All right, so we'll go back to the fish. So you have the 10-gallon, and obviously,
yeah. And then I went on a trip and left my mom in charge of my angelfish. And when I got home, they were dead, and with a whole bunch of uneaten food floating around in the water. So I put the tank away for a while, and then after I got married and my kids were little, I got into the fancy goldfish, and I had like tanks all over the house. So I did that for quite a few years, and then I after I was divorced and stuff. I ended up down in California. That was my next big tank. I bought a 75-gallon tank when I was living in LA.
Nice.
And I set up a planted discus tank. So I had discus in it, and cardinals and Congo tetras and a bristle nose and some cories. And yeah, so I did discus for a while when I was there.
That's I love that idea. That set up to have like school cardinals with discus.
Yeah, they look really nice, and the Congo tetras are nice with discus too.
Yeah, I do like the Congos.
And rummy nose. That's what else I had in the tank, because I love me a good school of rummy nose.
I love rummy. I've still got a big batch of rummy nose in there, because that's what I tried to sort of do with a couple discus. Now I made a big mistake. So discus are pretty expensive over here. The cheapest discus you can find is like $50, and they're little and
they were, even back then. This was like probably 15 years ago, and I think I paid like $65 or so per discus back then. So yeah.
But the thing I've found is that you really sort of want to have about 6 if you want to try and get a pair out of them. And then you really should put them in together, because they don't like to, they're very temperamental as far as accepting another one a couple months later or that sort of thing. And because of that, I gave up on them for now. But I will one day go, I have $200 to drop on discus. I'll get 6 together and I'll put them together. But yes, I'd love the school of rummy nose, and I think the other option is cardinals with discus.
Yeah, discus look really nice in a planted tank too. I mean, they really do. They look really nice.
Yes.
But I ended up with one pair of Marlboro discus that were breeding, so I put them in their own tank, which was a 20 long with a breeding cone, and the damn heater malfunctioned and killed them.
No.
The water was like I was. That was when the internet was just starting, and I was talking to somebody on the internet, and I looked down and they were trying to jump out of the tank, and I stuck my hand in there and the water was hot. So I grabbed a bucket real quick and with water about the right temperature and went to scoop them out, and they were dead already. They died that fast. So that was like, actually that just totally discouraged me, and I ended up breaking down the tank and stuff. And I didn't have a tank for years. And then, let's see, when I lived in Montana, I had the 75 set up for a little while with angelfish, and the same thing, rummy nose and all that stuff, but angelfish instead of discus. And I don't really like angelfish because they fight too much for my taste. So I wasn't real happy with the angelfish. And then when I moved here, didn't have any fish for a while, and I moved here, and I was at Walmart one day, and I saw this beautiful betta. So I bought a small tank for him and bought him and got him home. And then I went to PetSmart in Cheyenne to get some supplies. And the $1 per gallon sale was going on. And the rest is history.
That's awesome. So you sort of were a bit on and off as well, obviously. Like I was the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is that all of a sudden made me click, and probably same as you. I'm going to get another one and another one and another one. How many tanks have you got now?
Oh, I think last time I counted, I had like 26.
26. Have you got a favorite?
Not really. Not really. I lost my favorite tank. Is like, you see behind me down below the fish tanks that are lit up, there's a towel, and that's covering up a broken tank. That was my favorite tank, but it blew out and I lost most of the fish in it.
How did it blow out?
Right now I just have a towel over it because, to be honest, I can't get it out of there. It's too heavy for me to lift, and I can't. With the pandemic going on, I will not have anybody in my house to help me.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's just kind of my rule, is I don't let anybody in my house, because this is like my safe space where I don't have to worry about it.
I feel honored. I feel like we're in your house with you.
So for now, it's just covered up until I can figure out how to get it out of there. Once, if I can get it lifted up and get it out of there, I've still got to get it into my truck and into a dumpster, which is also going to be, I'm just not that strong anymore because I'm getting old, and it's heavy. So I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do is get it out of there and take it out on my porch and like take it apart where it's panes of glass instead of the whole thing, and then I can go put it in the dumpster.
I was gonna say, just put a tarp down or a old towel down and just hit it with a hammer.
I don't want the broken glass all over, but if I can get it out of there and move it onto the porch, I'll probably like take the rim off and stuff and see if I can like take it apart and panes the glass that way and throw it out.
Yeah.
But like I say, that happened a while ago, and it's just covered up with a towel because I can't lift it out of there by myself, and I don't want to ask any of the neighbors or anybody to help me because I don't want to have anybody in my house.
Yeah, fair enough. So, what? I know everyone here that doesn't know, Pam is a really talented artist. So, when did you start your drawings and paintings? Was that from a really young age?
Oh yeah, I always drew. Always. When other kids would be outside playing, I'd be like drawing. And at school, if you look back, my mom gave me a stack of my old report cards one time, which they're gone now. I threw them out. But almost every report card would have on the side of it, that I doodled and drew too much in class instead of paying attention.
Yep.
So
I used to love all that when I was really little. I would always draw, and my parents would show it to their friends. And they would like, no, he didn't do that. There's no way he could have done that. But then as soon as I hit school, and I would be drawing or whatever, and then I'd look over next to me and people would be drawing stick figures and stuff. Apparently, I just completely lost my own imagination, and I just started doing all that. And they're like, "Why are you drawing like that now?" And I just completely lost the ability to, which I found really interesting. I didn't know at the time. And my parents always told me, "Yeah, you used to be really good with your art, but then all of a sudden you just decided to copy everybody because the other kids did it that way, so I thought I should be doing it that way."
Ah.
Yeah. So it's one thing I regret. I wish that why do you like drawing and stuff? I find it therapeutic to just sit down and just.
I don't know. I'm just always like drawn to it. I guess I could say that. I don't know. It's just something I've always done, and I always like to do. And it's just like I lose myself in it.
Yeah, it's quietly creative as well. Like you can just take your time, but you're creating something.
Yeah, and I kind of I always have a plan of how I want it to look when I'm done, and it never turns out that way. So then you learn from everything that you do and try to do better on the next one.
Okay.
That's one thing. You got to be your own worst critic, because if you can't, if you're drawing and everybody that you know is saying, "Oh my God, that's so beautiful," and da 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 da, if you start believing that, then you're done growing. You know what I'm saying? And you've got to grow, and you've got to learn, and you've got to keep learning and keep growing, or you're just, as far as I'm concerned, you're just done.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I was listening to something a while ago, and someone said, "If you're not growing, you're dying." And it's like, I don't know why that stuck with me. So for you to say it that way, I'm like, yep, I completely understand. But is it harsh though? How many years you've been painting and drawing, and you go, "Nah, still not that satisfied."
I just always have done it. Even there was a couple times, like when my kids were little, I didn't have as much time, so I didn't do it as much. And there's been times in my life, like here a few years ago, I went to get a part-time job to help me pay bills, because I'd been doing nothing but drawing and painting for about 7 or 8 years. So I decided, a part-time job would be good, and kind of help me out with my painting or with paying bills, to have a steady income.
Yeah.
And so I got a part-time job, which turned into 58 hours a week, plus 2 hours of driving every day. So I didn't draw. My drawing kind of went kaput. So after my surgery last year, when I was laying in the hospital and everything was going wrong, and it was supposed to be a day surgery, and I ended up, 2 surgeries later and a week later still in the hospital. I decided, you know what, I'm done with this working stuff. I need to get back to my art because, I'm getting older and I don't want to just like die and not do my art. Like what do I want on my headstone? She did a really good job at the convenience store. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I needed to get back to my art, so that's what I'm doing now.
No, it's fantastic. And so, what's it like? Is there a certain type of painting that you like to do more than any other? Like one thing, I know you're really passionate fish hobbyist, so do you enjoy like the painting that you did of the discus, which is the thumbnail for this interview? Do you enjoy aquatic painting more than others, or is it scenery, or is it old? What sort of is the stuff?
It's the fish. I like doing people and animals, which includes fish. Is like my passion. I'm not very good at landscapes, but I've been making myself do a landscape once in a while just because if you look at like some of my paintings, the backgrounds are not up to par with the animal itself. You know what I'm saying? So I need to get it to a level where the background is comparable to the animal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I've been making myself do more landscape type stuff. But with the landscape, my ultimate goal, if I ever get to where I want to be with my art, is to have a lot of detail in the animal, but have a fairly loose background and still be able to pull it together to where it looks good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want like a ton of detail in the background. I want it to be there, and I want it to look like you look at it, you know what you're looking at, and it fits with the animal, but I want all the detail to be in the animal.
You don't want it to take away from the subject.
Yeah. So that's my ultimate goal if I ever get good enough to where I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm like thinking elements, like whether you do like part of something else. Yeah, I'm picturing, because I've seen a lot of your drawings, and I'm really, really lucky that I won this on one of the streams. I love the amount of detail in this. There's actually a video of him drawing this, and then maybe a month later I actually won it, so I was pretty excited.
Oh, yep, I did a video drawing that guy.
There's a lot of detail in that. So that sits here with my fish tanks, like right here where I work. So that's there. And I've got a couple other little Aqua things that people have given me over the year. But there was a comment back here. James said, "I'll be your worst." He's happy to help.
Thank you, James.
Maddie D doesn't trust Victorians. That's fair enough. I know what I'm doing. I probably agree with Jesse here. I'm glad you made that leap of faith, man, because I do remember that time that you were like, "That's it. I'm going to focus on my art."
Yep. It's scary, and it's still scary because some months I'm like really sweating and paying the bills, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay with help from friends. Me and you guys and my Patreons and all that stuff.
Well, that's so. Look, one other thing, you've loved your artwork and obviously the fish. What made you decide to start a YouTube channel? And was it a fish community thing? Was it an art community thing? How did it all begin?
It was definitely the fish fam. I'd been like online and going to other people's live streams and stuff for probably over a year and a half or so. And everybody was bugging me saying, why don't you do a video? Why don't you do a video? Why don't you do a video? So that kind of pushed me into starting. And I started with nothing but the fish. And then I started like putting some of my art like in the front part of the video, like the introduction.
Yep.
I started putting some of my art in that, and everybody was like, do more of that, do more of that. So now I got like my channel is probably about half and half, about half art and half fish. And my live streams have definitely turned to more art than fish, but yeah.
No, that's fair. I just noticed a few people saying that they can't hear me properly. I think I've fixed it. Let me know if I have.
That is a lot better. I was having to concentrate to understand what you were saying. Now you sound
I was using the mic in here, not this one, which is a bit stupid.
No, that's like 100% better, because I was like I didn't want to sit here and keep saying but I was having a hard time understanding you at times.
Just use those ears of yours.
yeah, with my big ears, I still couldn't hardly hear you.
So do you find that like YouTube, it's a good way to share obviously your art, but also share your fish tanks and stuff, or also be a part of that, this online fish keeping community? It's crazy how much support a lot of people have through their channels.
It's all great. I mean, it's all great. I wouldn't like trade any of it for anything else, because I love the fish fam and I love the tanks, and I like seeing everybody else's tanks, but at the same time I love, showing people my art, and I started giving away those cards, which some people think I was crazy for doing that, because I could probably sell all of them, but it's still like I really enjoy doing that. So yeah.
Well, I'm really thankful that I won one, but I would think you could easily sell them. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I really enjoy the giveaways. I really enjoy doing that, and I'm determined to make turn all of you into art collectors.
Well, actually, that was something I was saying to someone the other day. I've got this card from you over here, which is awesome. I have a painting from Scunge Princess.
Yeah.
And I have a painting from Rack as well. I'm like, I started a fish channel a year and a half ago. I didn't expect that I'd end up getting art from, Northern Australia and then America, the other side of the world. And I'm like,
yeah,
and this, have I shown you this?
To art collectors. Everybody in here is going to be an art collector by the time I'm done.
Have I shown you this? There's an Aqua key ring and coasters. They come in a little kit here. So Daniel Keeping Fish had this made for me in Scotland.
Oh wow! I like the coasters; those are cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm blown away by it.
Very nice.
So what's happening now with your channel? What can we expect? I know that you do a live stream on Wednesday nights.
Wednesdays. I've been debating about doing one like every Saturday night too, but I don't know if people get too tired of me. I'm thinking about doing like Wednesdays and Saturday nights.
Yeah, no, that's too much, Pam. The internet will break.
I know everybody be, oh my God, it's Pam again. But and then I was debating whether I wanted memberships or not, and I don't really want to do memberships with my art, because the Patreon memberships keep me pretty busy trying to keep up with all the stuff that I do with that.
Yeah.
And in fact, I got some stuff I got to send out this week. But if I tried to do that with memberships on YouTube too, it would just be, that's all I'd have time to do. You know what I'm saying? It would be totally overwhelming. So I'm not going to do that. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to do memberships or not. I was thinking I could do memberships and do like a private stream on Saturday nights, but I don't think I'm going to mess with it.
Yeah, because last time you pushed a button, what happened for 8 months?
I know exactly. Don't touch the buttons.
It's an interesting one, because I've never looked into the Patreon thing. So obviously that's something you do. And then I've got memberships a few months ago. But it's one of those things you're probably spot on if you tried to do something art-wise for members, and then YouTube takes a big percentage of the membership stuff. You'd find that it just probably after a couple of months you go, this isn't worth it.
Exactly. Yeah. It'd just be too overwhelming to try to do both. And plus, like I say, if I did had memberships and gave the little cards away, it would just, and then YouTube taking a big chunk out of that, and it'd be like a lot of work for very little.
I reckon it's a good idea still, but maybe you just do it like, after 6 months membership or something. You could go, cool, that would cover me drawing and mailing out something, and someone that supported me ongoing, I suppose.
Yeah. But
I do stupid things like
I have a tendency to get a little bit behind on the Patreon all the time and always be trying to catch up. So I don't need something else added to it.
Well, I did stupid things like letting Harry shave my head, and I posted a video of that to my members. So
I'm not gonna let anybody shave my head though.
Oh God, it's isolation life. I can't go and get a haircut, and my hair is driving me nuts.
How are things like over there? I know there's little things here that you don't see people mention that are really different. It's like when you go to the grocery store. For example, I was talking with Jess about this last night. But you go to the grocery store, and it used to be you'd go to the grocery store and there's in the freezer section, there's all these standing freezers with doors, and there'd be a whole big long row of frozen vegetables where you could get big packages of mixed vegetables or broccoli or stuff would be down on the bottom. And then you got smaller bags of everything you can imagine and different brands. And then the steaming bags, but they'd be like 5 or 6 doors of, that was all the vegetables from top to bottom. Now you go in there and it's I'm looking for frozen vegetables, and they have small bags of beans or a bigger bag of spinach. And that's it. That's all they've got.
That's crazy.
And the next week you might go and maybe there's some mixed carrots and peas and stuff, but the shelves are never full. Even the options are gone. It's the other day I bought some hot dogs, and again, used to be there'd be all different kinds of brands and beef and turkey and the expensive ones that are more actual meat in them, not instead of mystery meat, and all kinds of cheap ones and stuff. And they had maybe 6 different kinds of choices in hot dogs, and that was it. And it's everything's that way. It's there's just, the supplies are not there anymore. How's it?
You say 6 different choices of hot dogs?
Yeah.
That's a lot of hot dog choices.
Well, but before the pandemic, there'd be 15 or 20 different choices.
God.
With different
it's not
and all that stuff.
We're not at that stage yet. So we, on Thursday, we're in day 3 of our stage 4 lockdown. They've declared a state of disaster. There's curfews. You're not allowed out of the house after 8 o'clock and before 5 in the morning. They have warned that they are cutting meat production by 1/3 and basically said you'll be able to get the meat that you want, but you won't be able to get the amount that you would want. So they are sort of warning of that. So it's hopefully a 6-week plan, and then hopefully we can catch up with the rest of the country, because the rest of the country is doing fantastic. Victorians are just not doing that great at all.
Yeah, but it's probably really good compared to us.
And with what?
It's the U.S. is not doing good at all.
No, and that's one of the things. We're acting like this over here. I think we've got one of the highest testing rates in the country, in the world per capita, and that's sort of the attitude that we're sort of taking, is that we are hunting it. So we're looking for it everywhere. We want to find it. We want to stop it. And then sounds like over there's a lot of states that are just like, no, we're not looking for it. We're going to stop
whatever.
as much.
That's the way Wyoming is. And Wyoming is probably one of the better places in the United States as far as numbers and stuff go. But say like 2 months ago, and we've never had any shutdown or anything here in Wyoming. We don't have any mask regulations, or we never really shut down. Nothing. But Wyoming is one of the like smallest population per square mile of any of the states. In fact, we have like a total of 500,000 people in the state of Wyoming, and the state of Wyoming is big. And I read one time it was like one person for every 6 square miles, and there's actually more cows in Wyoming than there is people.
God.
So we've got a really small population. And it's still like a couple months ago when everybody was shut down and stuff, we were getting like 22 or 23 new cases a day. And now we're up to where we're getting anywhere from like 40 to 60 per day, which is not very good for our low population, but still better than most of the other states.
Yeah, so that's, so 500,000. So we've got about 5 million people here. But yeah, our record was the other day. We had 757 cases in one day. We're still hovering around the 400s now. But that's going to be a couple of weeks before we know if it's working or coming down. Nick, keeping fish simple, how are you? He said that he couldn't get fish shipped to him. He's up in Queensland because the bloke couldn't drive to the airport because of all the restrictions.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I won't ship anything right now because
I'll be 1 sec, sorry.
The post office is so messed up now, and it's like if you keep up on things, it's messed up on purpose. If they're kind of sabotaging the post office right now, hopefully it won't last for much longer. But so everything's going really slow, and I just won't ship anything live. No kidding, Jeff. I'll join you. We'll go to move to Australia. Yeah, the president appointed one of his friends as postmaster, one of his big donators. The guy has no experience at all. Plus, he owns like millions of dollars worth of stock in other shipping companies besides the post office. And they don't really want... they want the post office to, Trump just wants it closed. But, yeah, so they're sabotaging the post office on purpose right now. So I'm hoping come November that problem will end and everything will go back to normal.
Speaking of the post office.
Yeah, I've got Vegemite.
For those that have just joined us, we're about 45 minutes in, so I think it's a good time. I sent Pam some Aqua stickers with a little surprise. You can go hold it up. The upside down Vegemite. And it took a year to get there. So I don't know if it's our fault or your fault over there, but I'm tipping it's the American Postal Service put your stuff somewhere and went, why is this sitting over here? Oh, yeah, we should probably send those.
Yeah, I have no idea where it was for almost a year, but I did just get it. So I'm going to turn off my camera for a minute and go make myself warm up a tortilla and put this Vegemite on it, and then I'll put it on a plate and bring it back over here.
No worries. Who in the chat has actually tried Vegemite? I'm curious. I mean, half of you are Australian, so I'm sure you guys have. Dad, welcome to the stream. How are you? I just kicked myself out of my own stream. How did that happen?
I got quiet for a minute.
Yeah, I just clicked a button and it just took me right out of StreamYard. So I'm back. Kiwi Mamo grew up on it. Love it. Did you grow up in Australia or is it popular in New Zealand? Sheps Aquatics has had it and he doesn't like it at all. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan. So that's, if you can hear me, Pam, that's one thing is you don't put all of it on at once. Just go with a light spread, have a taste, and you can always add to it, but you can't really take away after you put the whole lot on. High country fly life. How are you? That was hard to say. Mr. Fish, sir, welcome. HC Aqua, well, people in California have been getting their packages before the neighbor islands when I send something out. That's because I sent Jesse some stuff as well. And that's because the mail goes to the mainland before it goes to Hawaii. Is that right, Jesse? So your mail goes to California and then gets sent back out. There we go. James is a big fan of the Vegemite. In New Zealand, we have Vegemite and Marmite. I don't like Marmite.
You're lying to us. I know you are.
Who? James.
Okay. So I made it.
Oh, that's a yep. That's a lot of Vegemite.
Is that a lot?
You put any butter on it?
No. Should I?
Yeah, I would, yeah. I just add a little bit of butter in and then just fold it over like a wrap.
Okay, I'll go do that. I'll add some butter on the other side.
Manes, tails, fur, and fins, how are you going? Hey, Shappy, yes, but for inter-island, it should go directly to the other island. Maybe... Well, yeah, it would make sense to do that, wouldn't it? Maybe the government's watching you, Jesse. They want to know what you're up to. Don't trust that HC Aqua guy. Or maybe you're sending too many special cigars to people. One time they sent it to Arizona and then back to Honolulu, and then finally out to the Big Island. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, for 1 year, I sent it out to about 25 people, I think, predominantly in America, and I reckon only half received it. So Pam's story is giving me hope that some people will still get their Vegemite and Aquaman stickers. But yeah, I did try and get everybody to do a Vegemite challenge, and yeah, try the Vegemite, do a little video on it, and then we could sort of have a little collaboration using a hashtag. And a few people did. Daniel Keeping Fish, Joe Munoz, Dave from Aquarium Thoughts, but a couple people tried it on streams, I think. So yeah, Jesse's got the Vegemite and he's too scared to eat it.
I grabbed this out of the fridge too, just in case I need to like put something else in my mouth really fast.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're actually going to like it.
I might, because I'm a person that like I'll make myself like a liverwurst sandwich with mayonnaise and stuff, and I like that, which a lot of people think is gross. So okay,
here we go.
I am folding it up.
It'd be funny if you don't like it, though.
Oh my God, I'm almost scared to do this.
Have you smelt it?
It doesn't really smell much.
I'm just silent.
Okay.
Aqua, mate, I want you to try brown cheese. What? I don't know if that's a thing or if you're just. And Jesse's like, I hope you don't like it. I don't reckon you got enough in that bite for some reason.
Mostly I just taste the tortilla right now.
Yes, Jess, I made her add some butter. Gnarly fish tanks, Vegemite. How are you? I don't know what it is, but it's just fascinating for Aussies to watch someone else eat Vegemite and see what they think. Well, just closing your eyes. You got some then, didn't you?
It's not real good. It's kind of gross.
And you put butter with it?
Yeah. It tastes like you're eating yeast or something.
It is. It's brewer's yeast extract. It's the stuff left behind after the beer.
Leave it to an Aussie to dredge stuff out of the bottom of the barrel and eat it.
Yeah. Waste not, want not. Oh, yeah. So
That wasn't very exciting. I thought it would be better than that.
it's very salty, so it's very punchy flavor. And I'll have it on toast, but I'll have the lighter spreading and I'll have it with lots of butter. I wouldn't have it on a sandwich or on a tortilla. Definitely wouldn't have it on a tortilla. But Harry loves it and my wife loves it. And what they do actually, there's a bakery chain over here called Baker's Delight. And one of their big selling items is a cheesy mite scroll. So they make a scroll and then they fill it with Vegemite and then they add cheese and then they bake it. So it's like a hard and crispy cheesy mite scroll. So they're really popular.
Well, that wouldn't be bad as long as you couldn't taste the Vegemite.
Well, it's the idea. You taste the Vegemite.
I just fed it, buddy. He ate it.
Oh, you gave it to Buddy. He probably liked it.
He's eating it, so there you go.
There you go. Took a year to give you some dog food.
I let the cat smell it, though, and the cat kind of curled up his nose and made a face.
That's funny. Do you have Marmite over there?
Probably.
I think Marmite's a British thing, I think. Dad says, hope everyone gets through this crisis. I think he means the Vegemite. He says that you're very brave.
I think it must be the Vegemite crisis, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of nasty. It has a nasty aftertaste, too.
It lingers, doesn't
it? It tastes like salty yeast.
So I think it might be one of those things that when you have it when you're little, that maybe you start used to it and
your taste bud thinks it's a normal thing.
Maybe, I don't know, like because I didn't eat it when I was little, but I know my wife did, and Harry, that's his go. He has that for lunch every day. That's good. There are some other methods to it. So kiwi mammo's right on it. It's nice in sandwiches with lettuce or cheese. A mousetrap base. I use peanut butter as mousetrap.
Oh, I do too. Peanut butter works great. I can't imagine a mice wanting Vegemite unless it's an Australian mouse.
I'm highly allergic to peanut butter, and that's the only thing I ever use peanut butter for. What is it? Thirsty Rabbit. If he was here, he would be telling us that you have butter, Vegemite, cheese, and tomato toasted sandwiches, I think. My wife will have that too. She'll have either Vegemite and cheese or Vegemite and ham.
See, all that sounds good without the Vegemite.
You're enjoying the chocolate?
Yeah.
My original plan was actually to send Vegemite and like a caramello koala, which is a chocolate over here. And there's one or two other things. I was like, I should send these over. Oh, a little bag of shapes. I think they started exporting them to America, though. They're just biscuits. But yeah, like a whole little care package, and then I realized how much it was going to cost me to send all that stuff to everybody. So decided not to. Oh, Blake's Hodixon's here. I don't mind Vegemite and peanut butter together, to be honest. I've never heard of that one. That's a bit different. So what is something equivalent over there that you would think, all right, so you have peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so that's just jam and peanut butter to us.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything like Vegemite to be a regular in America as a spread? And yes, they do make caramello koalas, Jess.
I can't think of anything that tastes like that.
Something that you guys have over there that we don't have is, I mean, I think you can get them if you try hard enough, but Pop-Tarts.
Oh, yeah.
What are Pop-Tarts?
They're just like a sweet toasted thing with frosting on the outside and like jam on the inside.
Frosting on the outside?
Yeah.
As in like icing sugar?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And you put them in the toaster so they're hot. They're basically like a sweet bread that's full of jam and then frosting on
it. There was yuck for the Pop-Tarts. There's actually a video that Harry watched on YouTube where they were doing food hacks. And he's like, Dad, check out this food hack. And he wouldn't eat Nutella at all, but they had it on this food hack, so he tried. So he asked me to get 2 bits of bread, put the Nutella in the middle, cut the crusts off, and then squash down the sides, sort of like a Pop-Tart, so you make it into one thing, and then toast it, and calls them Nutella pockets. He's obsessed with those now as well.
Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah, Pop-Tarts are overrated. Yeah, they go in your toaster. It's mostly a kid thing because I've never been wild about them, but my kids loved them. It was like a special treat when I'd get them Pop-Tarts. Apple butter? Oh, I love apple butter. Apple butter is good.
Apple butter?
Yeah. Apple butter is, I've made it before. It's like, I used to make applesauce, and then you just, once you've got like a bunch of applesauce jarred up, then you still take what's left and keep cooking it down until it's like real buttery and stuff. And it's a spread for toast and stuff.
Okay. The only one, we have garlic butter.
No, this isn't like garlic butter. We have garlic butter too, but no.
You put that on your steak though.
It's like basically apple sauce, like cooked way down until it's like a jam.
That's cool. I reckon I'd like that.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's brown like Vegemite, but it doesn't taste like Vegemite. No. I think I've done my Vegemite experiment for my life.
I feel like we've started Pam here. It's a moment you will never forget. Oh, yeah, lemon butter. Yes, I have heard of it, but I haven't had it. I can't say. Monica sent me some maple syrup a while ago because I sent her some Vegemite, and I don't know. I was watching a real big YouTuber the other day, and he had the exact one, and he started drinking it, and he was saying how fantastic it was. And I'm like, now I'm all excited to try it, but I can't have pancakes, so I really don't know what to put it on.
Oh no, I'm not sure what else would be good on it. Pancakes are what it's for.
Yeah, there is what is it? There's a dairy-free pancake mix you can get, which I don't mind that. But usually, if I have that, I would just put butter, some sugar, and lemon juice all over it.
What you do? Butter and maple syrup.
Well, I'll try that.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's good. It's sweet.
Well, now we're going to try put it on bacon. Ooh,
you guys don't have maple syrup over there?
No, we do, but I don't know. I think it's like a one from, I want to say Canada, but maybe it's, I can't remember which state Monica lived in, whether it's made in her state or something. So it looks a bit fancier than ours.
Well, if you go to like Vermont, New Hampshire, states on the East Coast where they have the sugar maple trees, that's where you get real maple syrup. That's really good. So I'm wondering if that's what she sent you, was real maple syrup instead of the imitation maple syrup with maple flavoring in it.
Do you eat French toast? Maple syrup is good on that. I imagine it would be, but I can't eat French toast because I can't have eggs.
Oh, you can't have eggs. Oh.
Yeah, I'm basically a failure when it comes to. But you'd think I would like Vegemite because I can't eat anything else.
So you can't have milk and eggs, or just eggs?
I can't have milk, eggs. I have butter and cheese, but if I have too much, then it's not a tummy thing; it's a eczema thing. Except for the eggs. Eggs is like a big no.
That's kind of sad because so much stuff gets eggs in it.
Yeah, so I can't have chocolate. I can't have ice cream.
A lot of cookies have eggs.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the other thing. I can't have muffins, lots of cookies. Can't have cakes.
Yeah.
But it's all good. I found other ways to
Just
eat
look at the
Get it
recipes
out.
and all that stuff, and just replace the eggs with a big scoop of Vegemite. You'll be fine.
That would be foul. G'day, Blaze. Yo, Blaze is my neighbour.
I've been sitting there trying to think of a scenario where the Vegemite would be good with something, but I can't think of anything.
Vegemite would be good with anything.
Nothing.
Buddy liked it.
It was like, it tasted like yeast, like you're eating like yeast with salt added to it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the most typical Aussie thing, though, so that's why I thought it would be a funny one. And also, it gets that reaction.
Yeah.
Dave from Aquarium Thoughts
I really
gave it to his.
thought I'd like it. I expected to like it, but
I thought you would too for some reason.
I didn't like it.
Oh, Blaze, $2 super sticker. Thanks, Blaze. I'll chuck a beer over the fence for you later. What was I going to say? Yeah, Dave from Aquarium Nano Thoughts. Getting my Daves mixed up. Dave from Aquarium Thoughts, he had it and he gave it to his wife and his 2 kids, and that was a 50-50 split. But I think his youngest son, loved it.
Really?
Yeah, his oldest son, not a fan. His wife liked it, but he couldn't stand it. He smelt it and almost gagged.
Now, I could see that kiwi says she uses it as a stew flavor. She has veggie, mince, and beef stews. I could see that might be good.
Yes, definitely. I think my wife's used it in some like vegetable soups and stuff. It breaks down anyway.
Just a little bit of that flavor wouldn't be bad in those things. I agree with that. But on a sandwich or a tortilla, no.
Or you have them on. Do you have saladas over there?
I am not impressed.
Do you have saladas over there or crackers, I suppose?
Yeah.
Yeah, people do that. They just smear it onto a cracker and eat it.
I like bread. I like butter on my crackers, but I don't think I could do the Vegemite on crackers. No.
Have you got any Vegemite left? Try that.
Yeah, I do have some left because I took your advice and didn't use a big lot of it. So there's still a good bit of it left.
I have a feeling that's going into Buddy's bowl.
I don't know. He didn't mind it. The cat didn't want nothing to do with it.
Saladas equals saltines. Is that what they are over there?
Yeah, saltine crackers. Yeah, I figured out what you meant. I'll take saltine crackers and put butter on them and eat them. That's good. But Vegemite, I don't think so.
I can agree with you. I'm not a big fan of them, but it steers me. I don't eat crackers. I don't eat sandwich. Like if I have sandwiches, I just have my favorite sandwich is just butter and then ham and then pickles and mustard and lettuce. Just nice and simple. So like tomato, just like a salad sandwich with ham.
But I could do without the butter though. My mom used to make, like, for our lunches, she would make bologna sandwiches, and she would put butter on them. And to me, like, bologna is like fat anyway. It's like congealed, ground up fat, and then you add butter to it, and it's like gross. I don't like butter on my sandwiches. I'll have mayonnaise on my sandwiches, but not butter.
I can't have mayo.
Yeah, because it's got eggs in it. Yep.
And that ruins a lot of things. Lots of, like, you go and see like a really nice burger, or you see like really nice sandwiches, and they're like, yeah, it's this, and with a bit of mayo or a bit of garlic aioli or whatever, and you're like, oh, it's just another word for mayo.
Yeah.
Chipotle sauce usually has mayo in it.
Yeah, has mayo in it. Like hamburger spread, all that stuff has mayo in it. It's just mayo and spices.
Hey, Derek and Dee, how are you guys? We have gone from how did you first get into fish to what do you put on your sandwich? Now, you said earlier that you were going to think about doing the Saturday nights regularly.
Yeah.
I reckon you should. The only thing for us over here is I'd be walking around covered in eczema. Lol, I'm not giving up all the food. Blake, that's what I do. But I know what you mean. The only thing is we do the stream every second week. Just me and whoever are the other Aussies are awake at the time that want to have a chat for about an hour. And then you go on like 2 hours later or something.
Yeah.
Can you go on any earlier?
Well, I could, but the reason that I usually don't is because of this.
Has anyone been offended by Pam's light in the background, other than it making us question whether she's a gift from the heavens? Because I think, actually, to be honest, I think the lighting now is a little bit better than some of the other. When you do it real late, it's a bit darker. I reckon it looks good.
Dark. But it's that glare. But I could do my Saturday nights an hour earlier, but you guys would be putting up with the light a little bit.
Because what I was just thinking is that it'd be cool we'll do the stream and then we'll go for an hour and then just jump straight over to you. And that way I can sort of hang out for a little bit too. Because usually by the time you jump on, I'm knee deep in chores. So I could have you on in the background while I'm folding washing or something, but can't participate as easy.
Oh.
There you go. Peaceful Aqua says the lighting is great.
Jess says I'm highly offended by everything about Pam, including her surroundings. Except for Buddy. I love you too, Jess.
No, I think that's a good idea. So have you got any giveaways coming up soon?
I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a stream tomorrow night. In fact, I know I am, and I'll have 3 cards to give away. So,
we get a little sneak peek.
I could do it an hour earlier, I guess.
Yeah, well, Rumble goes on that time tomorrow, so I'm not streaming tomorrow on this channel, but I think Rumble should be. Me and him are bad. We don't actually schedule them until like just before. I need to get into the habit of scheduling way before so it's there and everyone knows, but I think Rumble's on tomorrow. Dad says you look much younger.
No.
Stop flirting on my stream, Dad. Is there any sneak peeks of the giveaways that you can give us now?
No, I don't have them ready yet.
I like
But
trying to.
I'm going to do 3 giveaways tomorrow night. It's just 3 cards because I felt bad because Wednesday I was going to do them during the day, and the day it was a really bad day. So I only had one giveaway. So I told everybody I'd do another stream on this Saturday and do 3. So I could set it up for an hour early if nobody thinks that the lighting is just too awful.
It's fine. And I mean, if you're worried about it, is there anything you can just put there? Because it's only that one spot that it seems the light.
Yeah, it's where it's the sunlight coming in there. And
Just get the cat to
it'd be a pain in the neck. I'd have to like hang something from the ceiling because it's up hot above the fish tanks where it comes in.
No, it's definitely not that much of an issue at all. There you go. A few people saying the lighting is great.
You could see my ears better. They sparkle. They see how they catch the sunlight once in a while.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Sparkle.
Fish Whisperer Miles, how are you? JC. It's nice to see Pam with light. Her streams are usually dark. I strain to see her. Not this time.
It's daylight this time. Yeah, usually that's one of the reasons I have them at night is because there's so much light coming in all the windows during the day.
Yep. Well, I knew this would be a fun hour having a chat.
Oh, it's fun already, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's more than an hour already. Pam said at the start, she's like, "Do you have questions for me?" And I'm like, "Not really. I've got a couple, but I know that we'll just we'll end up just talking over the top of each other at stages anyway." Is there anything you would like to share with everybody here other than looks like we're going to be seeing you at the same? No, in 2 more hours, isn't it? 24 hours, 26 hours time you'll be streaming?
Yep, and I'll go ahead and start it like at 8 instead of 9 my time.
Yeah, and I think that means that Rumble can go on for an hour after Fishroom Fever. I think Harry stepped on my dog.
I can do that and just start my Saturday night streams at 8 instead of 9.
I think it's a good idea. Then we're back to back to back.
Yes. My ears also throw little sparkles all over my keyboard and stuff. It's got all these little sparkles on it.
like a
around.
Vegemite disco over there.
Yes, it's like a little disco keyboard.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's always fun having a chat with Pam. I always laugh even when I'm not on there with you and I'm listening to your stories. I'm always giggling off while doing washing or whatever I'm doing in the background. So thank you very much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me on. Everybody subscribe to Aqua if you haven't yet.
Yeah, do that. And everyone go over and check out Pam's channel as well.
And maybe he'll send you some Vegemite.
Yeah, the reaction's overwhelming.
Your old Vegemite in the mail.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all stay safe and have a great weekend. I'm trying to think what's coming up. Won't be streaming until next weekend, so another 8 days or so. But I will see you all then. Otherwise, I'll see you throughout the week on your channels or your videos or whatever. Thank you, everyone.